If you've been watching a ton of videos and you still don't know what to offer in your Etsy shop, I can guarantee you that it doesn't mean you're terrible and that you should shut it all down. It's probably because you haven't been shown what to do after you pick a niche. So instead of sharing a bunch of niche ideas today, we're going to validate only one niche and turn that into an actual trending, beautiful product that has the potential to become a bestseller. I'll also be sharing a pricing tip that I use all the time a little bit later, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dania, and I'm a top 1% seller on Etsy, and I did that in only about a year. Now I help others here on my channel, in my online community, through one-on-one coaching, and through shop audits, how to do the same. Before we get into it, if you want to make sure that you're using the correct dimensions when creating printable wall art, which, spoiler alert, we're doing printable wall art today, I created a free wall art guide for you. If you want to grab your free copy, go ahead and leave the word guide below in the comment section, and I'll make sure I get that over to you. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, we are going to make our way right over to my Done For You niche club. And the niche I want to go with today is one I shared in the group. It is pink bathtub printable wall art, and I love this one. I love it for a few different reasons. But here at the top, I showed 3 real listings on Etsy that are doing very well. We have the first one here on the left, which has a pink bathtub with a few kitties in there and some leaves in the background. And in the middle, we have one where a young lady is in a pink bathtub with her legs hanging out and she's holding a cute cocktail. And then finally, we have on the right, a really cute doggo in a white bathtub, a pink shower curtain in front of it. It is precious. I just want to show you a few different things that you want to remember when you're doing your market research. If you're a new shop or you're struggling, the last thing you want to do is target niches with a ton of competition. A good rule of thumb that I recommend would be to stay under 15,000 competition and lower. And 15,000 is kind of on the higher end. This one in particular, it doesn't even have 700 competition. Listing 2 is only a 3-month-old listing. It is in over 20 cards and it is a bestseller. Listing 3 is only 4 months old and in 5 cards. These listings are actually selling. By the way, this is all provided to the members in my Done For You niche club, but I always recommend adding value to the market, and that means to me doing something different. So if we go back up, we have cats, we have a female, and we have a dog. I'm always thinking of ways of how I can remain on trend, but do something different, but also not be a carbon copy. That is boring and you're not going to stand out. So a few things about why I like this particular niche. It can go across a number of different art styles, a number of different main characters. And it doesn't mean that we have to be locked into only having a pink bathtub. You can have pink elements in the design. Another cool thing too is that it is evergreen. That is a design that will sell all year round. We are targeting a particular avatar, a particular demographic. We're not just doing random wall art designs. These will appeal to, I'm thinking maybe a young lady who just got her first apartment. Now, I mentioned a few moments ago that this particular niche doesn't even have 700 competition, which is really no competition, but don't take my word for it. We're gonna hop over into Etsy and go directly to the source to validate this niche. In the Etsy search bar, I just typed in pink bathtub printable wall art. And as we come down page 1, we can see that we have plenty of best sellers and popular now badges. And that is something that I look for when I'm validating a niche. I'm looking for the popular now badge or the bestseller badge, because that is coming directly from Etsy. That's not coming from any other third party. I'm also looking to see how old a listing is too. I typically like to look for things that are a year or newer for the most part. And we can see here that we have a bestseller. It's only a 2-month-old listing. That information is coming directly from Everbee, which is one of my favorite research tools. If you want to try it out for free, I'll have a link below in the description for you. But Everbee is showing us that we have that bestseller, and it's only a 2-month-old listing with 23 orders this month. The one next to it is only a 5-month-old listing. It has that bestseller badge and it has 40 orders this month. And then the one on the far right is only a 2-month-old listing. Again, we have that bestseller badge and it has 40 orders this month. So I'm just getting the confirmation that this would be a viable niche to target, and I think we can really do something cool with it. So something that I am a huge proponent of is adding value to the market. What does that mean? That means doing something different so you're not a carbon copy of what everybody else is doing. So earlier I showed you 3 real listings. I wanted to go with a raccoon theme and see how, with the prompt I use, the different AI generators will look and give you a bit of inspiration of which generator you may want to go with. And I wanted to go with raccoons because my market research, I know that those do well in a number of product types and a number of niches. In fact, one of my top selling items happens to be raccoon related. So we're going to do adorable, cute, funny raccoons in a bathtub today. So I'm going to come back up here to the prompt that I have in the group. And now we're going to get into the really fun part. We're going to begin creating our design. And as you already know, the niche I shared earlier in the video is one of many in my Done For You niche club. Each week, the members get 7 low competition, unsaturated digital product niches, along with 3 different titles and a full set of tags to help them save so much time by having the research already done for them. In addition to that, we have group-only tutorials, helpful resources, and we have a monthly live call where you can ask me anything. And keep in mind, when you join, you'll see the niches going all the way back to March of 2025. You won't only get access to what I dropped this week. If you're interested in joining, I'll have it linked below in the description for you, and I hope to see you over there. Okay, I hopped over into Kittle and I'm going to click New Project here at the top right. And I'm going to refer to my wall art guide to set up the first artboard. And I want to go with a 3:4 ratio. So the largest dimensions will be 18 by 24 inches. I'll hop back over into Kittle and I'll change it to inches. Type in 18 for the width, and then for the height, type in 24 and then change my DPI to 300, and then I'll click create. And now we have our first artboard here. Now I'm going to create all the other artboard dimensions I want, and I'm going to do an artboard for a 2:3 ratio, a 4:5 ratio, and an 11:14 ratio. I'm going to make each of those artboards the largest dimension available for that ratio. I'll be right back when I get that done. I'm back with my different artboards that I created here on Kittle. I did go ahead and rename the artboard with the ratio. That way I can stay organized and be on track. If I click the artboard, you can see on the far right, it'll show you the dimensions, 18 by 24. Same thing with the 11:14, we have 22 by 28. The 4:5, we have 24 by 30. And then the 2:3, we have 24 by 36. Now we're going to come right down here to the prompt section, and I'm going to enter the prompt that I grabbed from the group. Come right down here and click style. I'm not going to overthink it too much, but I do like vintage modernism, so I'll click that. And I do want to change the ratio from a 1:1 ratio to a more vertical ratio because all of the artboards that we have here, they're all vertical. So I'm going to change it from a 1:1 and I'll do a 3:4. And then here you can change the amount of images that you want to get with each generation. So I'll just change it from 4 to 2, and then I'll click generate. And while those 2 are going, I'm going to come back here into style, and I want to pick a different one and see which one grabs my eye. I do like the modern pop art, so I'll click generate for those 2. And then let's do a third one to see what we get. I kind of like the children's book. That one's pretty interesting. And I'll click generate. And then you know what? Let's do a 4th one. Why not? I like to have options. So I do like the acrylic. That's really pretty, but I want to go with dreamy anime. And then I'll click generate and I will come back when those are all done. Okay, now we are back with all of our generations created. And if you want to move around your Kittle art project, like how I'm doing it, you just want to hold down the space button and then move it around like that. I do want to zoom out a little bit though. And let's see, we have the top 2 here. And if you ever want to recall what style you used or the actual prompt, you can click your image and then come right over here to the far right, click more, and it'll show you the AI generator and the style that you apply to it. So here we have the first 2 are vintage modernism, and I will zoom in there. Those are really cute. I like those. And then these 2 here are modern pop art with ideogram 3. We come down here to these 2, and that would be children's book with Seed Dream 4 for those 2, and I like those. Those are my favorites so far. And then the one I have over here, oh, I ran it twice. I didn't realize I ran that twice. So okay, so that would be the children's book with Seed Dream. So we'll go ahead and ignore that. And then coming down to these 2, we have the dreamy anime with Flux 1.1 Pro Ultra. I'm liking all of them, but I am liking more of the watercolory vibe with the children's book with Seed Dream. So I'm going to pick my favorite one, and it'll be that one here. I like it because the raccoons are kind of off at an angle. That's a little bit different, and the other ones are all of them facing straight on. So we're gonna go with that one today. Okay, I went ahead and deleted all of the other images because we're going to proceed only with this one. I think it's very cute. Now, to save you a lot of time, you'll want to make sure that you upscale it and make any edits that you think you want to the design. So I will click the image and then click 4 more and then click upscale, and I'll be right back when that's done. Okay, and now that we have that done, you can come right over here to the far right. You can add a border to your design, a shadow, a photo filter. I do like to add a photo filter from time to time, and I have it toggled all the way over to the right at 100%. If I come down over to the far left at negative 100%, which I'm actually not that mad about that. That's pretty different. We're gonna go with that. I like that. And then you play around with the saturation, and I'll keep that where we had it at 0. And keep in mind, you don't have to do any of this, but I like that pale pink look. That's a little bit different than what other people are doing. I do like that. Okay, so now we have it upscaled and we made any edits that we wanted to make to the design. So I'm going to begin by zooming out so I can get a better view of what I'm doing. Now I'm going to make the image fit the actual artboard. And you don't want to run into a situation where you're cutting off part of your design. And to avoid that, in Kittle, you want to hold down the shift button and then drag the corner. And that way you can manipulate the shape of your image like that, maintaining the integrity of the actual design and not having to cut anything off. If I don't hold down shift and I just drag it out, you can see I'm cutting off my image. So I'm going to hold down shift and then make it fit that artboard. Now I'm going to click the duplicate button right here. Now, after you hit the duplicate button, you won't think anything happened, but if you just click and drag the image that you were just working with, you'll see that it did go ahead and duplicate it for you. And I'm just going to repeat the shift and make it fit on all of the artboard. Click duplicate, and I'll be right back when I got all of those done. Okay, I'm back, and we have our really cute design on all of the artboards that we created. I did just come right up here to the top right and renamed it to match the keyword that I grabbed from the group. And now we're gonna click the export button right here, and it'll default to save all of your artboards all together. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you can click the drop down button, unselect, and then pick which ones you want it to save. But I recommend just going with having it defaulted to save all of them. And then we want to make sure that we are picking the correct file type. And I'm going to change it to a JPEG. And then every now and then your DPI will go back to the 72. Not a big deal. Just double click into it and type in 300. And then I'm going to click optimize quality and double click export. Okay, and we have it saved to a zip folder with all of the different artboard and the sizes that we worked on earlier. And what I like about Kittle is that it'll put the name of the design along with the name of the artboard. And remember earlier, I named each artboard with the actual dimension. That way you'll be organized and your customer will know exactly what dimension they're getting as well when they open up their folder. So I'll just open up the one here and we move it to the middle, and we have our beautiful design. I really like that one. That came out very cute. Now from here, you'll want to create a folder to hold all of your images together, because you can only upload so many attachments to your Etsy listing. And that's why people put their printable wall art either in Dropbox or Google Drive to have everything in there. And they attach the PDF that they created in Canva with the link to the Google Drive. So I have my images right here in Google Drive. I would just grab the link from that particular folder, and then you can come right over into Canva to create the PDF. And I'm here at the very top left corner on the panel under templates, and I typed in thank you for your purchase. And then you'll see you'll get a bunch of different templates that you can choose from. I'm gonna go ahead and just pick this one here, and I'll go ahead and make my edits and my changes, add the link to that, and then that is what I'm going to save as a PDF to upload to the actual listing. And if you want a deeper tutorial on the Google Drive part and how to create a PDF in Canva, I'll go ahead and link a video in the description below and right up here that will have that walkthrough for you. But essentially we are ready to get them mocked up and get them added to our Etsy shop. Okay, I am currently in my test Etsy shop, and I just duplicated a prior listing I had to save me a bit of time, but I do need a title for this one. I'm gonna hop back over to my group, and I'll grab one of the 3 titles that I give the members. And the reason why I do 3 titles is I don't want everybody using the same title. So the members do have different options to choose from, and we'll hop back over into Etsy and I'll paste that there. I have my image, my size chart, all that good stuff. Here, I'm going to add that PDF from Canva, and I'll just throw in a description there, set all my pricing, do all the things I need to do with a listing, and then I will publish that. Okay, and here we have our final listing. Now, I will always encourage you, please have more than one photo in your listings, and please have a video. I just did something very quick and easy for the tutorial, but when you are creating a listing in your shop, I would encourage you to have between 8 and 10 images. I know we can have 20. I don't think you always need to use all 20 though. Earlier, I mentioned a pricing strategy hack. This niche in particular, these 3 listings range from $240 all the way up to $673. Now, when it comes to determining what type of pricing you want, it's really important that you're strategic and that you do it with actual data behind you, because you don't want to price too low and you definitely don't want to price too high. Find the top selling items in that particular product type. And I go between anywhere between 10 and 20, and I'll take the average of all of those to get a good starting point. Even after doing that, I may decide, I want to bring it down a little bit, or maybe I want to bring it up a little bit. At least I know I'm right in the middle and that I remain competitive. And you can start from there. You may feel comfortable charging that, or you may want to bring it up or bring it down, but at least you're not starting with no clue. You're not shooting in the dark, and that way you can remain competitive amongst your competition. And there we have it, a beautiful, low competition, fun, printable wall art product formatted for multiple sizes and added to our shop. Remember that if you want access to more low competition, unsaturated niches, plus a ton of other perks, check out the first link below in the description to join my group. And don't forget to comment the word guide below in the comment section if you want me to send you your free copy of my wall art size guide. The video on your screen right over here goes over 11 digital products that you can begin selling today. So I'll catch you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.